Okay, so factoring non-baby ones. I'm going to do the example that's on your sheet right there. I'm just going to do it on my own paper so I can rewrite over here. So the problem is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4, and it's still set equal to 0 even though I didn't write that. Okay, the x part remains the same from the baby ones. You're still going to do a times c, which would be 2 times negative 4. You're going to put that in the top, and the 7 is still going to be in the bottom. You're still looking for two factors that would add up to get to 7 but would multiply to get to 8. So that's obviously going to be 1 and 8, but you need a negative somewhere to get to negative 8. If you want positive 7, that means you want a negative 1 and a positive 8. Negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Negative 1 plus 8 is positive 7. So these are your two things that you want. But because this isn't a baby one anymore, this is a 2, not a 1, you're not allowed just to jump to your parentheses. You actually have to do a little bit more work. So what we do with these factors is we actually use them to replace the 7x. So I'm going to rewrite the equation, except for I'm going to replace 7x with what's in my box. So 2x squared minus 1x plus 8x minus 4. This says the same thing as your original equation because you could combine your terms back and get 7, only now it's in the form that I want it. Because I need an even number of terms here so I can group these into two parentheses. Okay, so always first two together, last two together. Now what you're looking for is within each parenthesis, you're looking for what we call, if you remember from elementary school, the greatest common factor. It just means everything they have in common, take it out. In the first parenthesis, there's always going to be an x. There has to be an x. Maybe there's 2x, maybe it's 3x, but it's always got to be at least x. In this case, the numbers are 2 and 1, so it's just plain old x. So take the x out. If I take an x out, I still have a 2, and I still have the other x. If you're not sure if you're doing it right, then think about distributing it back together and making sure it goes back right. X times 2x is 2x squared, so you know you did it right. Minus, if I take the x out of 1x, all that's left is the 1. Again, feel free to distribute back together to make sure you did it right. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 1 is negative 1x. So you know you did it right. Okay, in this term, it's not going to have an x, it's just going to be a number of some kind. Maybe it's just 1, maybe it's 2, 4, who knows. Okay, when you look at this, 8 and 4, what they have in common is they both are factors of 4. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 4 all the way out. If I take out a 4 out of 8x, I have a 2 and an x left. If I take out a 4 out of negative 4, I have a negative 1 left. And again, you can distribute to check on it. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Okay? Now, notice how these parentheses, what was left inside, how they match? That has to happen. If they don't match, you did something wrong. Okay? The reason they match is because that becomes one of your final answers. The other final answer comes from whatever you took out, the two greatest common factors. So, x and 4. And that's a positive 4, so go ahead and put the plus sign to put them together. This is the only new part right here, because from here on out, now you're going to do the same thing you did on the baby ones. You're going to set each parenthesis equal to 0 and solve for x. 2x is equal to 1, so x is equal to a half. X plus 4 is equal to 0. You move the 4 out of the way. X is equal to negative 4. Okay, so the x is still the same, the setting equal to 0 and solving is still the same. It's just these three little tiny steps in the middle that are different. Okay, I'm going to keep doing each example in a different video to keep them short, so watch as many as you need to.